Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And, man, we got a great show lined up for you today. A lot of things to talk about as we watch everything around the world. Absolutely crazy. Now starting to have Wall Street companies acting like central bankers. We'll tell you all about it. And is it going to be a growing trend? And is how many people are losing faith in the United States? How many people are losing faith in the Federal Reserve? And I use Afghanistan and Joe Biden. You know, we've been talking a lot about this. And how weak of a president he really is. And I don't think anybody had an issue leaving Afghanistan. I really don't. I think everybody has an issue with how poorly it was done. And I think that's really the message that's being sent out to the rest of the world. Jason will tell you it's on purpose. We got a patsy in there, and we're making them look bad, and it's easy to do that. We set this all up on purpose. I don't know. I know that it must be nice that he sat over there at Camp David and while all of this was going on. But again, I think it's just a reflection of where we're headed. And the news yesterday of Palantir buying $50 million in gold bars. This is a publicly traded company. This is, just so you know, this is maybe not a name that you've heard that often, but it is one of the darlings, if you will, of Wall Street. They are a data collection company. And what I mean by that is that they are big in the data warehouse space, and they announced through their filings that, hey, you know what, we've got too much money. Okay. You know, and people got to remember this: big companies don't leave their money in the bank. We've got too much money. I probably should buy some type of treasury bond or yield or whatever, foreign debt even. But of course they're like, wait a minute, that doesn't yield anything. The fancy thing right now is, hey, we'll buy Bitcoin. Yeah, listen, Bitcoin's a fraud and a sham, and it only exists for one reason and one reason only. It's because our government allows it to exist until it doesn't. And we'll get into all of that. So got a lot of ground we're going to try to cover today. We're going to get Federal Reserve minutes and all that stuff. And I think everybody's kind of getting a little tired of Jay Powell. And I think it's going to be a very, very, very interesting next 6 months or so heading into February to see if Jay Powell can hang on or if we're going to go even farther to the left when it comes to our banking policies. So be ready for that. 800-951-0592. There's a freedom rally at the Buffalo Chip Saloon here in Arizona in Cave Creek this weekend. Want to make you aware of that. If you're around and you got time and you want to meet other like-minded people, there's a big meeting at the Buffalo Chip Saloon. That's up in Carefree Cave Creek. The Buffalo Chip, kind of a famous place, a good, it's a bar. They got rodeo and all that stuff, cowboy bar up there. Been there many, many, many times. I'll get you some more information before the show is up, but that is going to be going on this weekend, and I got that information from Deaf Protection. They're one of the advertisers we have on 1360, but they're actually here in Arizona. And Deaf Protection, the word deaf, DEAF, protection.com. Check them out. They're a company that helps protect you from our own government. For, quite simply, our cell phones, they're just tracking devices. I mean, that's all they are. And all the data, all the things you do, the text you send, the emails you send, the emails you open, all of those things. It's kind of, look at it this, it's kind of like floating out in air. And at any moment in time, the government can grab it and track it to you. They help limit that. Matter of fact, they do limit that. Check them out. deafprotection.com. You can't call them. You got to go online. And I know that for some of you that's an issue, but if you don't have a cell phone to call to call them out, it won't matter anyway. But you got to go online, deafprotection.com. They're also going to be at the meeting there at the Buffalo Chip this weekend. So make sure you get out there. Information's key. Information's key, and we've got to stick together on all of this stuff. So make sure you go out there this weekend and check it out. Saturday, I want to say Saturday. Arlene's asking me questions, and I wish she wouldn't when we're off the air. But again, I'll get you more information as this continues. 800-951-0592. 800-951-0592. The Give Me Liberty Rally, 5 to 7 p.m. 5 to 7 p.m. Saturday at the Buffalo Chip Saloon there in Cave Creek. I know Deaf Protection's going to be there. I think Bob Bofa's going to be there. Bob does a lot of gun training, also offers insurance for your firearms. Randy Miller's going to be there. Greg Westfall as well, and a bunch of other people. So the Give Me Liberty Rally this weekend, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Buffalo Chip Saloon. Go check it out. Talking about what's happening right now. Start with yesterday. Right? Yesterday, you have a whole new slew of central bankers buying gold. Brazil, Thailand, Hungary, amongst others. We're seeing gold purchases really starting to escalate again. I mean, just really without any relief. Year after year, quarter after quarter, year after year, central banks continuing to buy gold. Then yesterday, Palantir, who is they have the data analytics software. Like I said, they are big into the warehousing of data and then mining that data. They came out and said, we bought $50 million in gold in the month of August, disclosing it in their latest earnings statement. So now all of a sudden, again, like I said, it was kind of, chic or in vogue to come out and say, oh, yeah, we're buying Bitcoin and all that stuff, right, and have it be acceptable. This is the first time that we've had a major Wall Street company come out and say, hey, we're putting gold on our balance sheet. They also announced they're going to accept gold as payment, kind of taking a page from the whole, Bitcoin book, if you will. And I really think these guys are really, when you think about it, they're a technology company. But yet they're like, hey, we understand the Bitcoin thing. We understand. This is going to be heavily controlled. The governments are going to squash it when that time comes around. And really, when they talked about why were they adding gold to their portfolio? And they just started talking about what they called black swan events. You think about the last time we talked, Hassim Talib was the guy that wrote the book about black swans, these unexpected things that really probably shouldn't be unexpected. But they said that, they're starting to lose faith in our central bank. The CEO of the company came out and said that you have to be prepared for the future, and that future will have more black swan events. The company can take physical possessions of the gold bars that are stored at a facility. They didn't name the facility, at any time. And they said that that this should not be a surprise, that the loss of faith in those who control the money. And so when you're starting to think about all of these little things, you start putting them into place. And I've been warning you about Joe Biden for a while now. I'm telling you, I'm making the Jimmy Carter-esque reference. This guy is a clown of epic proportion. I promise you, there wasn't one single military, CIA, or any other type of agency or head that told Joe Biden, this is how you should get out of Afghanistan. Not one. You get the people out, then you take the troops out. I mean, that's just common sense. A 10-year-old would know that. And again, I think this is the perfect storm. We have a very vulnerable Federal Reserve president in Jay Powell, right? Listen, this whole thing's blowing up in his face. Inflation is transitory. No, it's not. No, it's not. Right? I've got to say, we've got to start tapering. But I don't really want to because the economy isn't ready. When's it going to be ready? And now, and we've got to. I don't believe for 1 second Joe Biden is making decisions. I don't believe it. I think he was out in Camp David. Probably was eating some ice cream, sitting by the pool. Right? And somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, hey, tomorrow you need to have a press conference, but don't worry, this is what you're going to say. Probably had no idea it was even happening. I don't know if he could pick Afghanistan out on a map. And now you have Wall Street companies. Wow. I'll tell you, I don't know that I thought I'd see the day where you would have Wall Street companies, these are debt pushers, saying, hey, we don't want to put all of our money into debt. Here's the problem. When you put your money in the bank, you don't realize it. It's not like they tell it to you in simple terms. Right? Because, the reality is we're all so dumbed down, nobody even really knows. Remember when you used to get a paper check? Remember that? Every Friday or every other Friday. Heck, I remember when my insurance was free because my company paid for it. I remember my copay was $5. Now I pay over $1,000 a month. Let's see, the cheapest copay that I know of is $35. That's the cheapest one. Remember, you used to got those you can't get paper checks anymore. In a few places, but not really. Everything's direct deposit. And what you don't realize and what you don't understand is your money's going right in to the debt machine. That's why, yesterday I told you, who's buying all this debt? Who's buying it all? It's not the Japanese. It's not the Chinese. It's definitely not other foreign governments or other central banks. They're not buying it. Pretty much been who? Our own central bank just creating it out of thin air. What could possibly go wrong? They added $3 trillion of treasury notes to their balance sheet in the last 16 to 18 months. I love it. We played this bit. Jason started playing it on 1360 about, think about this. The Federal Reserve, they actually own the money. That's their job. They own the money. Not only do they own the money, they can create the money and then charge us interest on the money. I mean, it's incredible. And even the name Federal Reserve, right, that gives you the illusion that they're some kind of federal agency. They're not. They are the destroyers of wealth. And we've got the biggest horse's ass sitting in the White House right now. Congratulations for all you people that allegedly voted for that guy. The simplest thing ever. Get the people out, then get out the military. That's how you do it. Everybody knows that. No. But again, by design. Somebody wants us to look weak. And it all has to do with money. You know, at the end of the day, you follow the money. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this. You know, really, when you think about it, central banks have been buying gold now for about the last 15 years. You know, before they would sell gold. Now they buy it. And the funny part is they're buying a lot more than they ever had sold. Of course, who's the ones not buying gold right now? We don't buy gold. Right? We don't even know how much gold we really have. The European Union, the old oligarchs of the EU, you know, Britain and France, and to throw Germany in there, they don't buy it. Italy, Spain, of course, they're broke. But everybody else is, and now you have publicly traded companies that said, you know what? We're preparing. We see the bubble. Well, you think this COO doesn't see the bubble? We're preparing. I don't want to own treasuries. I don't want to own other stocks. I'm not out there buying Tesla. No, we're going to put some gold away. And that's what everybody should be doing. You know it. You know what we've got in the White House right now. And think about this. Here's the bad part. The vice president, she's no better. She's no better. And I think we are headed into some very, very dangerous waters. And we have the wrong people in charge. That's for certain. And the rest of the world is taking notice. Publicly traded companies taking notice. And all of this on the heels. Think about this. Retail sales were down. Inflation's way up. The reports now, Costco is saying at some locations they're out of water and toilet paper again. Are you kidding me? 800-951-0592. Housing starts. The lowest this year as the numbers came out. How's that possible? Home builders should be buying homes or building homes like crazy. But here's the problem. If they build the homes they want to build, the price of everything goes through the roof. The only way to keep the price of lumber down is to stop building the homes. How about in Phoenix? Dreaming of moving into a home? but can't afford to buy one, don't want to deal with the maintenance and the cost, don't have the money to put down, don't worry. Rental communities popping up all over the valley for people who want space and privacy, but you don't want that burden of a mortgage. Yeah, think about that. Mortgage rates are like 3%. That's not a burden. Yet nobody can buy one. Well, I mean, rich people can. Nope. Now you can rent. Yes, rent your brand new home today. 25 different communities now in Arizona are building your rental homes today. And they look, they look like, oh, look at this nice new neighborhood popping up. Oh, wait, everybody's a renter. Get used to that. A society where nobody owns anything coming to America very, very shortly. 800-951-0592. Gold's down $1. 1784 right now. Silver's down a little bit, 23.50. The Dow is down as well. As news on home starts, and of course we've got Fed minutes, which, let's face it, those things are too old now. Think about all the data that's come out in the last couple of weeks that really show a big dramatic change. Once we got that glorified jobs number, things have been going the other way. U.S. $20 gold pieces. Listen, this is, I called in a favor. I want you to take advantage of the pullback. This is a fallacy pullback. I've got $120 gold pieces, and as you know, 2075, and quite honestly, where they should be right now, I should probably be about $2,100. I'm trying to keep it down, but I've got 100 of them at 2,050. And again, that was the price from last week. I told you we weren't going to see it again, but you got it one opportunity. This is a one-shot deal today at 800-951-0592. Start paying attention. I know Wall Street can't. They can't. They've got to believe what the Federal Reserve is saying, even though they know it's not true. They know it's not true. Go to allamericangold.com. The first, I think it's the third article down. It's CNBC's reaction to Palantir buying gold. And listen to what they said. Hey, the Federal Reserve's losing credibility. They flat out said that's just what it is. Make sure you have it put away. Think about what I was just talking about in Phoenix. You know, when you're looking at 25 different rental communities. But listen to the pitch. You'll have all the finishes you'd want in a home. A private backyard. You know, your front entry. No shared elevators. No shared hallways. No shared walls. It's a house. But here's the great part. You'll have the ability to lease it. You're not going to be able to own it. Listen, we know you can't afford to own it. Let's calm it down. Listen, home builders will tell you the price of everything is up. You know, they talk about lumber, which has come down, but the only reason why lumber's come down is they stopped building homes. Right? Why did they stop building homes? Well, it's not just the problem with the lumber, right? Concrete's a problem, rebar's a problem, plumbing's a problem, fixtures are a problem, appliances are a huge problem. And they're getting us prepared. Isn't this how they do it? I know, it's great. Look at what you get. You got your own backyard, your own entryway. You don't have to share hallways and elevators and walls. And guess what? You can rent it too. The concept has been so popular. People are going to try to replicate it because they've seen that we're on to something here. This is an opportunity for people or families who are kind of like in between, you know. They're trying to become a homeowner, but they're just not quite there yet. And they're tired of living in apartments. Well, there you go. There you go. 25 different communities. Next Metro Communities. They're the ones that are putting it together. Coming to a state near you. Don't worry. Remember the other day we talked about, and I've talked a lot about this, all these giveaways. All as they do is make the cost of things become more expensive. All the debt we go into makes things more expensive. I just told you the central bank, no one has bought, well, I don't know, they created the money out of thin air, so I don't even know if you can say they bought it. No one's amassed more U.S. debt than the central bank with no end in sight. Now they're talking about taper and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. We know that's not really the game. But every time we do it, it just devalues what the dollar will buy. And the reason why I'm telling you I know inflation's not over is I know how much money they've actually created. Right? They talk about $5 trillion of debt in 18 months. I wish that was all they did. I do. If it was just that, then okay, maybe it could be transitory. See, but they created and expanded the money supply another $14 trillion on top of that. I mean, think about it. In the last 18 months, they've essentially printed up the entire GDP of the United States and tried to lie and hide about it. And now the Biden administration says, wait, we got to increase food stamps by 25%. Now, most people would be like, well, yeah, well, that's fair because, you know, stuff's expensive. Can't have people starving. What you don't understand is all that does is going to make everything cost even more. Somebody actually figured it out besides me. Bruce Wilds, I got to give him credit, Advancing Time blog, wrote a great article talking about the stock market hitting new highs. Think about it. Stock market was hitting, well, up until yesterday, hitting all kinds of new highs every day. Telling us, look at all the jobs that are available. Think about it. Are there really 10 million jobs out there? You know, if you believe the idiot bunch, there's more jobs out there than unemployed people. Then why would we have to be raising food stamp benefits? Kind of an odd combination. Right? I mean, you would think that food stamp benefits would rise with Wall Street crashing, no jobs. Just the opposite, my friend. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. $20 gold pieces at $2,050 as we've had the first, and I think of many now. You're going to see more and more companies putting their worthless dollars into gold. Palantir being the first Go to allamericangold.com. The reaction's priceless. One of the guys, and I'll give him credit, said, notice that they didn't buy the gold ETF. He made a big point of that. And he actually goes, and I commend him, because, no offense, buying a gold ETF, gold paper, so you don't own anything. And all you own is part of Wall Street manipulation, period. But go out to allamericangold.com, listen to it for yourself. It's really, really interesting. And they went on to say, hey, we think we're going to see more of this. I think Jay Powell may be in big trouble here. And you know what? We need to be rooting for him. I hate to say, because he's terrible. But I know who they want to replace him with. It's a Janet Yellen clone. The central bank is getting morphed into we're all about equality and financial equality. Financial equality doesn't exist. Rewarding failure by taking from success doesn't help the problem. Listen, the government's been redistributing wealth for years. But now they've kind of got the central bank to what? Drink their own Kool-Aid. Right? It wasn't that long ago when they were saying, hey, listen, we're going to pay the debt off. Remember, you used to have conservative Republicans that wanted balanced budgets. The sad part is most people don't even know that before we went off the gold standard, we'd run just as many budget surpluses as we did budget deficits. I say it all the time. The debt in 1971, it was only $400 billion. And almost all of it, well, about 75% of it, was left over from World War II, about $250 billion. And then the new plans, the Great Society of Lyndon Johnson. Right? Guess what we got out of that Great Society? Hey, we got food stamps out of that. Right? Did it fix the problem? Think about it. Does government getting involved ever fix the problem? I've never heard, hey, we're going to increase it 25%. Hey, I mean, what happened to 2% or 5% or 10%? And do you actually think that's going to help all of the 50-plus million people on food stamps? You think it's really going to help them? I can promise you it is not. Because really, when you think about it, what are we talking about here? $30, give or take? About $30. $35. What in the hell are you going to do with an extra $35? Now, who is it going to benefit? Already. Oh, hey, Walmart, going to be a big winner, right? The fast food McDonald's going to be a big winner. Not helping you. They make it appear like they're helping. This is not helping, because believe me, that extra $35, that's how much more groceries are going to cost you anyway. If you're lucky, chances are probably going to cost an extra $50. Can't have prosperity from the printing press. And it wasn't that long ago they were talking about paying off the debt. Remember the Tea Party, which they hijacked from Ron Paul, but that's a different story. Remember the Tea Party movement? What happened to those guys? Now they just want to just throw it all away. here, we're just going to do this and call it, well, it's for equality, it's for global warming, it's for climate change, Me Too, and everything else. And we've got the perfect patsy to do it in. Right? Think about it. A lifelong politician. Name one thing Joe Biden did in the 50 years before he became president. Seriously. What great piece of legislation did he ever come up with? Any? And this is what you're preparing for. So you know this is ridiculous. Interest rates are 0. Mortgages are 3%, and we're building rental communities. What does that tell you? Mortgage rates are 3%. And we've got to build rental communities. 800-951-0592. If you can't see it, I can't help you. Honestly. If you can't see it, I can't help you. And here's the problem. Everybody sees it. Brazil sees it. Thailand sees it. Hungary sees it. Palantir now sees it. Pacer Radio News Hour. It's like romper room here today. And I see Bill. And Maria. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. U.S. $20 gold pieces, 2,050. 800-951-0592. The Dow is down about 65 points. Gold's down a couple bucks here, 1782. Silver's down about 20 cents right now. We're going to get Fed minutes that'll come out later today. And again, old news. Old news. I think everyone wants to talk about the taper. I love taper. Should we be buying any mortgage-backed securities? Really? You get a mortgage for 3%. I mean, what would happen if the Fed stopped buying mortgages? Would it go to 4%? How horrible would that be? Here's the problem. Probably be pretty horrible because no one can buy them as it is. I mean, when you look at housing sales, not that it's bad, but this is a very, historically anyway, slow home buying. I mean, what are we talking about? New and used homes, 5-6 million? It's not that much. I mean, we were selling that many in the 90s. We got record high prices. A lot of people out there think they're going to go even higher because a lot of people out there think, hey, listen, the Feds, they're not going to taper. Heck, they're probably going to come up with a 40-year mortgage, right? Some way to try to, make it become even more affordable as the prices get more expensive, right? I mean, do you really own something if you got to rent it for 40 years? I don't know. 800-951-0592. U.S. $20 gold pieces, $2,050 today as we all await for these wonderful words of wisdom from people that really, let's face it, have decided that all the economic laws and principles that they told us about, that we grew up with, no longer apply. And we've got all these new tools. And the funny thing about these new tools, they're the same tools, just with a different name. Right? Because what's the tool? Debt. Debt, debt, and more debt. And I don't even understand how they haven't even tried to fight inflation. Matter of fact, they're trying to make it worse. Listen, they're on board. They want the $1.2 trillion stimulus passed, or well, what is that? I shouldn't call it stimulus. I guess infrastructure, and they want the other $3.5 trillion too. Yeah, they think it's great, right? At this point, why not? Right? Why not? Hey, we already got $40 trillion in debt. You know, the debt ceiling and all that. You know, what's another 30, 40 trillion more? 800-951-0592. We'll be back. I'll be back again tomorrow. Don't forget, by the way, I didn't even talk about the CBDs. Make sure you get your CBDs. I thought I was smart. And I was like, man, I've done so good. And I was telling you earlier this week, listen, I can bend down and pick up my own golf ball. I can golf without my knee brace. Well, I decided, you know what, I don't need to take my CBD every day. And I didn't take it for like 3 days. I went bowling yesterday. Let's just say today I took a double shot. That was a dumb idea. But get them. They can help you. God bless everybody. We'll see what our commander-in-chief does tomorrow. Probably won't see me. He's like Groundhog Day. He'll pop back up in another 6 weeks. God bless. We'll be back tomorrow.